Hey, what's up guys? Radku here, back with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today is going to be an insane dual avatar invoked deck. Now this deck worked so well, like, it's amazing. This deck is like straight up god tier. So the big issue that I had with the original pure dual avatar deck was the fact that you're locked into fusion summoning afterwards. So the big thing is that you couldn't use a lot of engines that you would normally use, and I really didn't like the Dogmatica or the Eldritch variant of this deck. It just did not work at all. But the Invoked variant is flat out broken. Like, I'm not talking like slightly broken. I mean, this deck sets up like a 3-negate board and sets up OTK potential for next turn. It's that good. Plus, this deck just has the ability to play so many hand traps that it can just do insane stuff. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Starting things off, of course, 3 copies of Dual Avatar 5th Yugi. So this card, you can destroy another dual avatar monster and special summon or add a dual avatar spell from your deck to your hand. Now, sure, that might be a little limiting, but the thing is that you can 1, destroy itself. You could 2, use cards that summon tokens, which this deck is literally based around summoning tokens and then using those tokens as fusion material. You can tribute tokens, and you can just tribute other dual avatar monsters that you have on the field. It's really easy to pull off this effect, and sometimes Yugi might be kind of annoying with having to get rid of a card, and you won't be able to go full combo if you only draw into Yugi, but you still have a lot of combo plays, especially if you have cards like Fusion Deployment and stuff like that. So 3 copies of Yugi is mandatory. I play 2 copies of Koku. This card searches dual avatar traps, and I only play 1 of it in terms of dual avatar compact, and I'll explain how amazing this card is later. So this card is really, really good. I kind of just have it as another dual avatar monster, but one big thing that makes this deck synergize with Invoked a lot more than a lot of other decks is the fact that all the dual avatar monsters are light. So that means you can use them all to summon Mechaba or Makaba or whatever you want to call it. It's really, really good, and the synergy is there. You just have to take advantage of it. I played 3 copies of Alistair. You have to play 3 copies of Alistair in an Invoked deck. This card's busted. Of course, it gets your engine going. It gives you negates. It's just really good. I played 3 copies of Ash, 3 copies of Skullmeister, 3 copies of Gamma, 1 copy of Driver, and 2 copies of Nibiru. Now, of course, Ash, generic. Skullmeister, very situational, but it's for this format and kills Eldritch, Virtual World, and Drytron. So really, this card's really good. Of course, Gamma. Gamma's been falling out of popularity recently, but it's actually pretty good for your plays, all things considered. And, of course, Driver, you have to play it with it. And then Nibiru. Okay, so I've said this multiple times, this format. This card is still good. This card is really good, this format. Like, sure, it might be a control format, but it's a combo control format. The best decks are Drytron, which definitely summons more than 5 times. Virtual World summons way more than 5 times, and this is the main card that you want to play against Virtual World. Eldritch. The main variants of Eldritch are Dragoon Eldritch, which is not susceptible to Nibiru. There's Zoo Eldritch, which is susceptible to Nibiru, considering how often they summon. And like sometimes they'll only go 2 cards into Trident, but most of the time they're going to go for their full Zeus play, and at that point you can easily go into the Nibiru. This card works. Just trust me on that. This card works. Plus, you have other variants like Invoked Dogmatica. You just have so many variants. It works. Trust me. I play 1 copy of Rhoda because it searches your dual avatar monsters, 1 copy of Terraforming because it can search your Meltdown and it can search your Perfect Sync, Speaking of which, 3 copies of Meltdown. This card is amazing. It searches your Alistair, which just gets your play started. Plus, makes all your monsters like spell speed 4. So yeah, this card's really good. 3 copies of Aun. This card is really good. Searches your dual avatar monsters on activation. Then if you control a dual avatar effect monster, you can special summon a dual avatar spirit token. Now this is where you get pretty good combos. So the thing is that you can actually go full combo with 3, 6, 9, 12 cards in this deck are starter cards and can go full combo. And the thing is that you can draw into the rest of them and not brick at all. So the thing about Aun is that this is your best combo starter. You activate it, search Yuhi, normal summon Yuhi, use the effect, special summon a token, use Yuhi's effect, pop the token, search an invitation, use invitation's effect, then you get 4 tokens, use them to go into Kongoyo and Ungoyo respectively, and then you have a negate on board and you have other plays. But of course you have, like, if you start out with cards like fusion deployment, you can actually special summon it from the deck, which is really good. So all of this is to say, Aun, amazing. I played 3 copies of Invitation. This card is god tier in this deck. This card equals 2 fusion monsters. This card technically goes +5 or +4, but like you can't really use the tokens for anything, so it doesn't really go +4. So like this card summons as many tokens as possible, but it locks you into fusion summoning. That's fine. You don't do anything other than fusion summoning, other than the occasional link, which you don't care about. So mainly, this card just super good. But what you can do with this card is like you can summon 4 tokens. Like let's say you normal summon Alistair, use Alistair, search Invocation, link Alistair off into Owl Mirage, then secure Gardena. You have Invocation in your hand. Then you can activate Invitation, summon 5 tokens because you have to summon 5 tokens. Then you can go into an armored Ungoyo, and you can go into an armored Agoyo. Then you have 2 fusion monsters on the field. Then you can use Invocation, banish the Alistair, and the secure Gardena. Now you have 3 fusions on the field, and you have an interruption with Mechaba, which, I mean, apparently a single Mechaba is good enough in this format. Just like, it eludes me why a single negate or a single Raigeki break. Like, think about this for a second. The best decks of the format are good only because they each have a Raigeki break. Other than Virtual World and Drytron, like Dogmatica and Eldritch are only good because they have that single Raigeki break. Like, it's weird. It's just weird. This format is all types of screwed up. I played 3 copies of Fusion Deployment. This card's amazing for this deck. 2 copies of Invocation. You have to play this card, but yeah. You could cut this down to 1. Doesn't really make a ton of sense, because if you lose it, like if it gets banished or whatnot, you don't have another one to fall on. So 2 copies is actually good. I played 2 copies of Compact. Now this is where things get a little spicy. So what you can do is you can let's say you have Koku and you have an Invitation in your hand. Or let's just say you have those 2 cards in your hand. You normal summon Koku, use Koku effect to search Compact. You activate Invitation. Now, this is actually a future play. You can't do this right now, but you can do it later. You activate Invitation, then you can summon the 4 tokens on the field. Then use the fusion plays to go into your Migoyo, and then you can use the rest of the tokens to go into an Ungoyo, which those ones have the best effects. But like that's a really quick combo. But then during your opponent's turn, you can use Compact to during your opponent's main phase copy the effect of Invitation. Then you have all your main monster zone, or 4 of your main monster zones open, because you're probably going to special summon 1 to the extra monster zone, since you don't link at all. But like, then what you can do, you can just use this, copy the effect of invitation, summon your 4 tokens, fusion summon into, like, you can summon into 2 Agoyo, or you can summon into another Ungoyo, and that's just a 2-card combo that leads to an OTK next turn. It's really good. Then I played 2 copies of Ice Dragon because it's a generic staple this format. So this deck, really good. That is it for the main deck. Going into the extra deck, 1 copy access code for potential OTKs. You're probably not going to use it, but it's still fine. 2 copies of Invoker of Madness. This is mainly just a search invocation, but it's another target to get cards off the field. Of course, your Almirage and Secure Gardena. I don't know why I'm playing these as opposed to the Magistus card, but you know what, it's fine. I play 3 copies of Mechaba. This card's busted, like 3 copies, mandatory. 3 copies of Congoyo. This card actually sets up protection for your dual avatar cards, as well as technical as well as sets up potential negation, but this card's pretty good. 2 copies of Ungoyo. This card, I was wanting to play it at 3, but we didn't have enough room in the extra deck. This card sets up actual negation for extra deck cards. That's actually really good. It's just a great way of setting up some negation. Plus, it does target, but you can still negate some big stuff. Like, yeah, you can negate a lot of stuff. And then I played 2 copies of Agoyo. Okay, so going into the future, I don't remember when this card is coming out. I don't know if this card is already confirmed to come out in the TCG or when. So this card is pretty good for the deck. Like, I'm talking really good. So, this card is Dual Avatar Migoyo. Now, you can't play it right now, but you can play it later. So, it needs Koku and 2 Dual Avatar monsters. That's normal. The first time each Dual Avatar fusion card would be destroyed by battle, it is not. Once per turn, you can return all spells and traps your opponent controls to the hand. That's pretty good. Then when a monster effect is activated on your opponent's side of the field, while you control 2 or more fusions, you can destroy that monster. That is really, really good. Like, it's a pop. Like, it just gets rid of stuff. It's really good, and it's basically like a ghost ogre, like, that you can fusion summon. On top of the fact that in conjunction with Dual Avatar Congoyo, the first time, this card has like some protection as well. So the fact is that you can set up some pretty strong boards when this card comes out. But keep that in mind, future support, gonna be really good. So that is it for the deck. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, let me know what you thought, and let me know if there's anything you would change about the deck. Would you change up the dual avatar lineup, cut out the Invoked engine, despite the fact that it's kind of what makes it good. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video. Peace, guys.